So, the tier list that I'm doing is going to be solely based off of personality only. This is not going to be about characters, their gameplay, their skills, their power, none of that. Based off of what I know about each individual character is how they're going to get ranked. So we have regular Rappy. I'm going to put her in A tier. Rappy is a very serious character. Very reliable, by the books, matter of fact, no nonsense. If you give her something, she's more than likely going to get it done, or find people to help her get it done. That kind of makes her kind of unfun to be around sometimes, because she doesn't have an ounce of comedic value, or she's not the type of person who can ease the tension in the room at all. So actually I'll bump her down to B. I might sound biased, but obviously Neon is going to go in S tier. She is a reliable character who knows when to get serious, but she is the person to remove a lot of tension. Best spy, I agree. She doesn't quite see the value in her skills and abilities outside of certain situations, but generally speaking, I would say that out of the counters squad, which is Rappy, Neon, and Anise, she's got the most accomplishments. So, S tier for her. Anise, I don't like. Not only has she helped out the least in all of the different things that we've done throughout the story, she's unreliable. She's very emotional. She's kind of the anchor. I'll be honest, she does drag the squad down by a lot. Summer Anise. So, regular Anise is all about firepower. She understands when and how to use it, so she's not just going around blowing up everything. She's not a Megamine. Summer Anise is all about aqua power, so it's she understands, she wants water. She believes that water can have the same amount of use and effectiveness as fire, and she works to figure out how that can be applied. Basically, they're the same character, they're going in the same places. Red Hood Rappy. After a certain point in the story, Rappy goes through a bunch of changes, and she starts acting like a completely different person. Totally annoying. Totally obnoxious. The only benefit that she gets from this change is that her power goes up significantly. I don't like having her around. She's... ugh. This character, Delta... Yet you love her? I don't. Let's go. So if you take a look, this is all of my Nikke ranked from most powerful to least powerful. Red Hood Rappy is only in this spot because of her abilities. And even they aren't maxed out. It's unfortunate that I have to use her because she's kind of a meta character. But as far as wanting to have her on a squad, if I could pick anybody else, I would. She gets on my nerves so much, I can't stand her. Next we have Delta. Kind of bland. Doesn't really have a whole lot going on as far as personality goes. Or it could just be that I don't know a lot about her. Where's Delta? Back? There she is. She's a member of the Scouts. The Scout Squad, Surface Reconnaissance Squad, who always remains at the forefront on assignments. Communication, reconnaissance, and remaining alert are their fortes. They really don't have a whole lot going on, except for they always seem to be all over the place. Like, if I go out on a mission, Delta and Signal are somewhere nearby doing something. So, that's kind of interesting, at least. And Signal is in the same boat. Signal is interesting because, well, let's take a look at her real quick. Signal. I don't use Signal or Delta typically. So in the bit of story that I did earlier, they were trying to say that, oh, it could just be the storm that's making communication difficult. No. Just no. The equipment that she carries around is so crazy that the only thing that could disrupt that signal is, like, intentional interference. She a cutie. She's adorable. Didn't know that she had this alternate outfit. Cute. Then we have Pulley. Pulley is kind of a confusing character, but she's a member of the ACPU, which is like the ARC's police force, and she was named after Ingrid's dog. So Ingrid is the leader of the Elysian company. They manufacture all of the Elysian Nikke. She's the CEO. And she named Pulley after her deceased dog. And for whatever reason, I'm not saying that Pulley has the brain of that dog, but Pulley has a lot of dog-like tendencies. Dog-like behaviors. Very golden retriever. This is just an alternate costume, so we'll put that in the same spot. Miranda is also a member of the ACPU police force. And I don't believe I know a lot about Miranda. I do use her a little bit. Where is Miranda? I know that she has a strong sense of justice. But other than that, actually, kind of drawing a blank on her. Let's see.
We do have iron grate windows. Not sure how sturdy they are, though. Nice weather. I'm feeling strong.
She's an Elysian, Nikke. Let me check something really quick. Just gonna blitz through this really quick. Wow. Leian has a lot of people who think that they're spies. Someone's playing a prank on her. What the hell is this? Okay, this tells me what I need to know. She's a good person, she's just a little bit on the clumsy side. Here. The last member is Query. Oh. It's masked. Query is the newest member of the police force. And her whole thing is that people think that she's angry all the time, but really she's just blind. She can't see. So people get the idea that they're making her mad or doing something wrong, when really she's just squinting so that she can see what's going on. So all of the ACPU are going to go in B rank. Next we have D. D is like an assassin, killer, and she goes in the S rank. She's kind of a prickly character. Seems like she would be hard to get along with, but she means well, of course. And she's got great taste in weapons and tactics. I mean, look at her. She's using a P90. You know how I feel about P90s. Next, we have K. K is kind of a dumbass. Did I get K? I did get K. He's a member of the same squad as D, technically. Their squad is a clandestine. They are their assassins, like I said. Their entire goal is to go up and take down this organization. They're basically a terrorist cell that operate in secret in the Ark. They're like the Illuminati mixed with whatever terrorist org of your choice. D is very effective and efficient. She can take down her targets without raising suspicion or making a big deal or a big scene. K is loud, obnoxious. Chaos follows wherever she goes, and that makes it hard for her to get any progress done. She does get progress done, don't get me wrong, but good lord. I'll pick D over K anytime. So, K goes in D tier. Now, this is D, Killer Wife. Before I actually give her a rank, let me explain the difference. So normally D is a no-nonsense assassin going on missions and stuff. But there are certain situations where she switches up her personality slightly. Where is it? Is... I don't know. Is she Elysian? It's not. Where is Killer Wife? Ah, there she is. So, D will sometimes have to go undercover. And she does so by posing as the commander's wife. So she pretends to be a very doting and loving wife, but as you can see, you know, she's still got that dog in her. Don't worry about the package that she has wiggling around. I'm sure it's fine. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that while she's undercover, she uses that as an excuse to let some of her emotions shine through, where otherwise she has to be more serious and stuff, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think that she makes for a great wife. Unfortunately, however, her weapon of choice changes to whatever the hell this is. It's a cool gun, but it's not a P90. Great choice in fashion. You know, fashion goes up. She's not wearing pants. So she gets a plus for that. She does like cats. She gets along well with another Nikke who's very cat-like. So D, Killer Wife, A tier. She would go into S with D normally if she were using a P90. Next, we have Belorta. Now, Belorta... She's in a squad called Carronades. They are an artillery unit. Explosions, big blasts. I don't particularly like this Nikke. That's because she's got zero sense of self-preservation. Like, this Nikke needs to be wrapped in bubble wrap, honestly. She likes eating sweets, she likes candy, that's fine. That's not the problem. The problem is that she's in constant danger, and it's really annoying. F tier. Her squad mate, Micah, oops, hold on. Is an absolute sweetheart. He's good friends with Belorta and actually cares about her well-being. So Micah spends 24 hours of her day worrying about whether or not Belorta's okay, or going to be okay, and trying to stop her from doing crazy stuff. I like Micah a lot. So, Micah goes in A tier. Now there's another version of Micah. Get that version of her? Didn't. So there was there's an event at a hot spring. We were on the surface to establish a hot spring in the middle of like a winter snow area, and Micah volunteered to help, and this was the outfit that she wore. She decides to stay and help with the daily chores. So when she's not being called to do something with her artillery, she is helping at the hot spring. So for that, I'd give her the same rank as normally. She likes to look out for other people. Very selfless individual. Micah goes 18. Next up, we have Red. Fun fact, this Nikke was the first SSR I ever got to 3 stars. She is in a squad called Infinity Rail. She takes care of the transportation inside of the Ark. She's a workaholic, and she loves coffee. She doesn't have a whole lot of time to spend hanging out. She takes basically no time off for herself, but in between her shifts at the railroad stations, she'll stop and we'll have coffee and chat for a little bit. I like her a lot. I wish that she would take more time for herself. She's got some good outfits. She's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. He gets S tier. Then we have another member of Infinity Rail, Seline, who I will be honest, I don't know a whole lot about. Talking about yourself. I take plenty of time for myself. Seline. an attendant of Infinity Rail that's responsible for attracting customers. She always wants to be more adult-like in order to appear more competent. Though she may seem sure of herself all the time, the truth is she's just a bragger who often fails to live up to her words. So yeah, coffee mentioned. No, I want coffee. I have coffee. I made coffee before the stream. And I made it extra hot, so it would be drinkable by the time I got to it. Good coffee. I thought I had. So yeah, Seline is one of those all talk, all bark, no bite types. Nothing particular going on with her other than that. Seline gets C tier. D tier. Back to sad times. Next, we have Diesel. She is the leader of Infinity Rail. She's a heart of gold and always carries a bag of strawberry candy to help guide lost passengers to their seats. This one has a really, really sad story. So there was a terrorist attack at the Ark, and someone Diesel cares about died. He doesn't like going to the memorial that they hold for the event, for that incident. She loves whenever a child gets lost or separated from their parents in the Ark's train stations and stuff. She helps calm them down. She gives them candy, and she's just genuinely nice. Diesel gets A tier. This is just another version of Diesel. Next up, we have Senti. I like Senti. She's a member of Mighty Tools, which is the construction unit. They pretty much everything in the Ark was built by Mighty Tools. She's got incredible strength, puts heart into everything she does. She's never failing to get the job done. She's Litter's first apprentice. Great respect for her mentor and always listens to what Litter says, studies her techniques in earnest. So anybody who's familiar with Nikke probably heard the meme "Let Roll." An animator, Sultan the Dirk. She's their favorite Nikke. She loves to just build some of the wackiest stuff. Nikke will go to Mighty Tools and say, "Hey, make me a lightweight camping tool set because I'm going up to the surface," and they'll design the most crazy, outlandish, wacky thing that does the job. Sakura? You're thinking of the other animator, I think. Sultan's favorite Nikke is definitely Senti.
Jiffy, if there are any malfunctions or broken parts.
Let me see. Go.
This outpost needs to be pretty cool workshop. Is that a broken part over there? I'm on it.
Can I get her to say?
This outpost needs to be reworked from
So the
ground
line that
up.
she says frequently is "Let's roll," but they'll shorten the line to just be "Let roll." Senti is great. He gets A rank. And then, of course, that means that the other member of Mighty Tools is Litter. She's the leader of Mighty Tools, and despite what she looks like, she is ancient. She is very old. She's the best when it comes to building things. Senti's more repair. Litter's more build. She's got a robot buddy dog named Bolt. Fantastic Nikke. I love Litter. She's been my most powerful Nikke for a long time, but this isn't about power. It's about personality. She talks like an old timer. She treats everybody like a kid. Of course she does. She takes everything she does very serious and is a stickler for rules and order. So she's a nag, basically. A lot of the other characters don't like her because of how intolerable she can be sometimes. But that being said, they put up with her because she can pretty much make anything, even things that don't exist. So Litter gets S tier. Finally, the topic of this event is Absolute. And our next character, Emma, is a member of Absolute. Emma is something of a sister figure for Absolute. She enjoys caring for other people, yet there are times where she lets her guard down. Emma is, kind of the glue that holds Absolute together, but that gets kind of annoying to me because she insists on being that caretaker type, even when it's not wanted or necessary. She wants to baby everyone, and it can be a little bit condescending at times. Also, she can't cook. She loves to try and cook, but if you eat anything that she makes, it will probably kill you. And since Nikke are basically androids who aren't supposed to be able to get sick, it says a lot that they get sick when they eat Emma's cooking. I'm not a fan of the whole forced caretaker thing because of how forced it feels. I put Emma in F tier. And I don't just feel that way about video games. Anybody who tries to just force themselves into the caretaker role, I don't like it. Next, we have Vestie. Her cooking is an advanced bioweapon. God, it literally is. I think at one point, it's acidic, so I think at one point we throw her cooking onto a rapture's core, and it damages it significantly, and weakens it enough so we can shoot it down. That's how bad it is. Vestie is the timid, kind of crybaby girl. Despite this, she's actually said to be Absolute's strongest ace member. Vestie is a beast. I think, in terms of physical strength, she's stronger than a lot of pilgrims. She is if she grabs you, if Vestie wants to hurt you, she's gonna hurt you. But because of that, she's got She's a very shy, timid personality type of person. She doesn't want to hurt innocent creatures. She's very kind. She likes to tease Yunhua because her boobs are bigger. And Yunhua has a flat chest complex. Vestie likes explosions. So because of her squad and her tremendous power, she's often called a monster, and she kind of gets treated like one. So in her head, she feels like she doesn't have any friends because of how powerful she is. She thinks that she like scares people away, which is really sad because a lot of people love Vestie, myself included. Vestie gets A rank. Next is the last member of Absolute and the leader, Yunhua. You didn't see it, you won't see it in this video, but we went over all of the Yunhua's personal story. She is a control freak, a perfectionist. She loves to be in control. I didn't know this about her, but she was a commander who died and was turned into a Nikke. A lot of everything that she does is in the interest of completing a mission as perfectly as it can be and minimizing casualties, which makes sense given her backstory as a commander. But she is hostile, she is prickly, she is... Everybody who talks to Yunhua thinks that she hates them. And it's not exactly inaccurate. You have to kind of prove yourself to not be a waste of her time. But she means well, so. You know what goes into C rank. Next, we have Laplace. Laplace is a member of Matisse, which is a different manufacturer. Most of the Nikke that we covered were, we were talking about Matisse Laplace. They are part of a manufacturing company called Lelass. We were previously talking about the company of Elysion. Lelass is the worst company. I mean, they have some really good Nikke, but their CEO is the absolute worst. She sucks so bad. Suyin is trash. I feel bad for all of the Lelass Nikke. Laplace, on the other hand, is interesting. Matisse is Lelass's best squad. Absolute is the ace squad for Elysion. Matisse is the Lelass version of that. Laplace sees herself as a hero. Everything that she does is in like some sort of heroic fashion. She refuses to go through doors. She likes to smash through the window, jumping through them to get in and out. So she does a lot of property damage. She has a good sense of justice, but again, it's very grandiose. It's not like the police force that is the ACPU. She's all about... She's like a comic book style hero. She's like a female version of Superman. That means that it's hard for her to take certain things serious. She's a very goofy character. She goes in B rank. This is just another image of her. That's her favorite item. Next up, we have, in the same squad, Drake. Drake is also a very, kind of difficult character personality to deal with. Despite being on the same squad, Drake sees herself as a villain. Drake likes to... She says that she's a villain, but really it's just in name only. When it comes to actually doing bad things, she always says, like, why would I do that? That's not something a villain would do. Her idea of a villain is doing JoJo poses and doing an evil laugh. So, like, stuff like that. She's not actually bad, and even though she sets out to do bad things, it always gets messed up in some way to being a good thing. Like, if she goes to prank somebody, that prank usually uncovers some plot to commit a crime or foil a robbery. So, she's very heroic despite her efforts to be villainous. They're hilarious together, but when it's time to get work done, they're very frustrating, both Lelass and Drake. So, Drake goes with her. Sent a preview of what you've done. I will check that out really quick. Oh, wow. Love it. That's some good stuff. Matisse. Last member of Matisse is Maxwell. Fun fact, Maxwell is voiced by Amberly Connors, aka Amelie, Monarch, the VTuber. Maxwell is a genius researcher. She's very knowledgeable. She is the glue that holds Matisse together. She doesn't have any sort of chuniness. She's not a villain. She's not a hero. She's just kind of there. She's the only person who can tolerate and handle both of Drake and Lelass's quirkiness. She knows what to do and what to say in order to get them to, lock in, do what needs to be done. So, for that, Maxwell gets A rank. Ugh. Then we have these guys. Next on the list is Crow. Okay, so Crow's a member of a squad called Exotic. They are ruffians from the slums out of Rem. Their contingency plan. All of the members of Exotic have collars around their necks that will explode if they step out of line because of how difficult they are to deal with. They're troublemakers. They're problematic. I hate them. I absolutely hate each and every one of them. Everything they do makes life harder for everybody else around them. And I get it. Because their boss mistreats all Nikke except for Matisse, their squadron, they were mistreated as humans. They get mistreated as Nikke. That does not excuse their actions. Crow, specifically, as the leader of Exotic, hates humans. She thinks that it's the way that humans see Nikke is problematic, and she hates them all. So even though that Nikke's entire purpose is to help retake the surface from the Raptures, she spends most of her time trying to come up with plots and schemes to make humans suffer. We're just gonna go through these three quickly because they're all going in F tier. Jackal doesn't have any brains of her own. She basically does whatever Crow tells her to do. So she's like... She doesn't have a whole lot going on character-wise. She's one of Crow's puppets. Let's see. Oops, I didn't mean to back out. What was the other one's name is Viper? Where's Viper? Viper is a very flirty type. She likes to use her looks and charms to try and manipulate people. She's the harlot type, where she'll like press her boobs against your arm and be like, "Oh, don't you want to buy this? Don't you want to let me into this classified lockdown area? Don't you want to give me your ID card so I can go in and look at stuff that I'm not supposed to?" Terrible. Absolutely awful. All of Exotic is trash, irredeemable, alongside the CEO of Lelass. They're terrible. Awful. Hate them. Then out of the way, we have N102. Tragedy. Now, even though the game calls her N102, that I know of, every other character in this game calls her Anne. Her story's tragic. It has to do with the fact that the way that she was killed and turned into a Nikke, she has a little bit of memories from her past life that surface sometimes. Her mom recognizes her as a Nikke. It's sad. It's really, really sad. She didn't deserve it. I won't spoil it. She's got an event, usually around Christmas time, that's centered around her. They call her Anne. Her name is Anne. And she's got a Christmas variant that I don't have. Hers was the first Christmas event for the game, and I missed it. Where is she? Where is she? Ah, Anne. Miracle Fairy Anne. After being reborn as a winter spirit. Much happier here, which is good. Recall and release. This is the first time I've actually read this. A squad that is part of the Memory Control Lab. They were formed in order to study how a Nikke's memory can be controlled. More often than not, Nikkes who are sent there have their memories erased. Tragic. Anne is a good bean. Following that, we have Mary. Mary is a doctor, a nurse. Part of a squad called Seraphim. They're just a medical team. They do field repairs to Nikke. They help humans who are hurt. Commanders if they're on the on the surface doing a mission, they get hurt. Mary takes care of them. Mary is a complicated character. Obviously, she has like that whole doctor's oath. She's not going to leave somebody in need, no matter what. A talented doctor who treats patients with an unsurpassed solid. What is that word? Anyway, she's known as the Angel in White as her patients who disobey her orders. However, she can be very rough with patients who like try and leave bed early or don't take care of themselves when sick. If Mary tells you to take rest, you had better do so before she makes you rest, if you catch what I mean. She's also voiced by Amelie. She's got a dark past. I don't know the details, but she's got a guilt about certain Nikke, some sort of like human experiments that she had a part in. And being a doctor is a way for her to make up for those past mistakes and the guilt that she carries with that. Mary goes in C tier. I like Mary, but whatever she did is really bad. Like, she feels guilty about it, and it seems like it's pretty dark. Next up, we have Pepper. She's also a doctor. She's a lot more bubbly. A lot of people, they're not like, she's good with kids, younger people, a lot more excitable. What else is there to say about Pepper? She's not going to do anything to you if you don't take care of yourself. This just makes her a much more approachable person. I see her as more of a nurse, less of a doctor type, but that's just me. Unlike Mary, she doesn't have a dark backstory, so she gets B tier. Now, Bay Goddess Mary is when Mary is on the beach, which is the surface. She's still on the job, but she's stubborn about taking a bit of a break and enjoying like an opportunity for vacation. She still wants to keep everyone safe and happy, but again, that guilt is there. I'm willing to put this summer variant in a higher tier because with enough persuasion, she will stop and take a moment for herself and have some fun and rest. But only if she's certain that nobody's hurt and nobody is at risk of getting stuttering. Next up, we have Sugar. Sugar is a member of Cafe Sweetie, Tetra's problem-solving squad. Despite the fact that they can easily be found in the cafe, few people are aware of their true occupations outside of the shop. Basically, their coffee shop is a front. They're essentially thugs who go around dealing with other thugs in a thug way. Their names are all after coffee stuff, so Sugar, Milk, and Frema. Frema is a type of... Wait. Or I say something stupid. Frema... makes the taste of coffee and tea richer in harmony. Yeah, so Frema has something to do with coffee. They're all named after coffee. Bancho archetype? Actually, no. So Sugar loves her motorcycle. I think she calls it Torpedo or Cyclone or something like that. Sugar's kind of lethargic. When she's not on the job, she's like, she's just trying to chill and relax. I believe, despite her name, she likes her coffee black. Wait, no. Yeah. Sugar, I think, likes her coffee black. Milk likes her coffee with just sugar in it. Frema likes milk and sugar in her coffee. Despite her rough and tumble look, she just wants to go fast. She likes to take long drives on her motorcycle. She's pretty chill, actually. So, Sugar gets A rank. Milk, the one with stank face, is very combative. Sells milk, coffee, and cafe sweetie. She's a boxer. She likes to fight. She just likes to fight. Her alternate costume is literally her with boxing gloves and a punching bag. Like, she's very sporty type. She uses a sniper rifle, which is unfortunate. I'm not a fan of sniper rifle units because they're so just stiff. She's constantly getting in arguments with Sugar over which type of coffee is better. Yeah, she likes picking fights with people. Other characters and stuff. But despite that, other people can see like her true intentions anyway, which is kind of weird. Like, at one point, Milk walks up to a member of the casino and says something really mean, and they respond to her as if she said something different. And everybody kind of has that reaction. For that, Milk goes into B tier. It's just an alternate version. And of course, that leaves our last member of Cafe Sweetie, Frema. Frema's a sleepy lady. She's technically the leader of Cafe Sweetie. I don't know why. Because she's always trying to just sleep, it leads her to always find the fastest, most efficient ways to finish whatever her job or mission is so that she can take a nap. And it doesn't matter the situation. Literally in the middle of combat, she's half asleep. Take a shot. Yawn. She's drooling. She's like, You pretty much have to drag Frema everywhere. Because she's sleepy. Not really much going on personality-wise other than please just let me sleep. Frema gets C tier. Next up, we have... Is that Julia? That is Julia. Julia, a member of Master Hand. Master Hand is the central government's ceremonial guard. They are musicians who preserve the musical legacy of the surface. Literally an eternal musician. So, the arc isn't just focused on creating Nikkes to fight and do things. They also have to handle stuff like preserving humanity's history and culture. And Julia is partially responsible for that. She's got the music, classical music, the history of music, how it's composed, how it's made. That doesn't mean that she can't fight. It just means that one of her primary functions outside of combat is to preserve that musical knowledge. Obviously, her weapon is a violin type of thing, but it's actually an assault rifle. It's kind of hard to talk to Julia because everything that she says is like a reference to some sort of classic composer. But she's very soothing to have around when she plays music. It's calming. She gets called upon a lot to do a lot of shows and stuff for entertainment purposes. Because you can't just have all of humanity living underground. Like, they'll go crazy and get suicidal and stuff like that. So, she's an important type of Nikke. And that's just another variant. She goes into C tier. Oh boy. Then we have Uni. Moral booster for sure. Exactly. Uni is a very troubled character. She's a yandere sadist type of character. She's a member of Wardress. Their squad is centered around capturing raptures, disabling them so they're no longer a threat, and bringing them back to the Ark, which is super dangerous. But they need to be studied and researched so that we can find ways to fight and defeat them. Like I said, she's a yandere, she's sadist, she's got a whip. She likes hitting people, regardless of if they're into that or not. Makes her kind of a pain to deal with, but her skills with tying people up and stuff does definitely come in handy in a lot of situations outside of combat and just the kink itself. Unfortunately, however, though, she gets manipulated a lot by other people because, again, she's also being mistreated by her boss, the CEO of Lelass. So, she's not irredeemable, but her personality definitely needs a lot, and I mean a lot of work. So, while all of Exotic is an F tier, Uni is just a little bit better. She can come back from the things that she's done. The others down there can't. Then we have Mihara, other squad member. Now, originally, Mihara was the sadist type, but due to a failed mission, she had her brain wiped and kind of lost her personality. Uni did her best, but couldn't kind of coach her to be the same type of person that she was before the brain wipe. So as a result, Mihara became a masochist who liked being hit, who liked feeling pain. She used to boss Uni around, but now she's the one who gets bossed around a lot. But they still are inseparable. They still like each other. Mihara still likes Uni, Uni still likes her. It wasn't her fault that she got her memories wiped, and she can tell that Uni is desperate to make her a certain way, like try to convince her to be a certain way, but she just doesn't have the context of it. She doesn't remember. Amnesia and stuff. Upgraded Mihara. Uni makes a big mistake, and they're involved in a terrorist attack orchestrated by Crow. The punishment for that is that the both of them get a really rough punishment. But Mihara kind of goes through a lot of extra torture. She receives an upgrade, and in order to protect herself and Uni, she goes through this. And they basically live up on the surface now. Mihara... I forget exactly how they explain it, but by doing damage to herself, she inflicts it tenfold on her enemies, which is why her outfit is very spiky and kind of digging into her. She's got, you know, the wire wrapped around herself, and she pulls it and gets those red marks on herself. She is self-sacrifice the character. Damn, does she look good. Mihara regular gets a B. Post upgrade Mihara gets an A. I like it too. Next we have Privity. He's a member of Triangle. Triangle... So it says that they're responsible for maintaining order in the Ark, but they're not like the ACPU, which is just the police. Triangle is more like the Secret Service or like the FBI of the Ark. A lot of people in the Ark don't even know that they're Nikke. So Privity is a girl who puts on a hard front, but enjoys taking care of other people. So the game says this, but every time Privity shows up, she's maliciously using the law against us. And I don't like that. She's very much like a police officer who's drunk off of power. And I can't stand it. F tier. Every time she shows up, I'm like, oh god, I'm in for a hard time. Next, we have Eula, an officer worker that suffers from work overload. She's the leader of Triangle and a reliable one at that. Others inexplicably refer to her as Ghost. Yeah, she's very stealthy. She'll slide in and out of conversations without anyone really noticing. She is a workaholic as well, as similar to Brid, but isn't she a Tsundere maid version? There is another version of her, yes. But it's further down the list. Yulha treats coffee like blood. She's got blood. She's got coffee for blood. Like, it's the only thing keeping her functioning. She's basically in charge of keeping tabs on a bunch of things that go on around the Ark. She's very angry when she speaks, but that's just because of how exhausted she is. So you're not really supposed to take it personally when she snaps at you. She's got that I don't want to do anything for anyone at any time look. But she's not all that mad. Yulha goes and see. Adme. Adme, very mature, despite her look. She kind of sees like the bigger picture. She's the in-between but Privity and Yulha, where Privity is quick to try and arrest somebody, and Yulha doesn't want to do any extra work. Adme is willing to bend the rules a little bit. Like, she understands that there are laws and rules, but she also has enough of a moral compass to be like, okay, here's what we can do. We can get you a lighter sentence, but only if you shut up, come with us, comply, and, rather than shoot you, we can maybe lower it down to a fine. Adme is the one that you want to deal with over Privity or Yulha. If you had to pick one member of that squad to deal with, Adme is the one that you want to pick. Next, she understands the difference between enforcing law and enforcing the spirit of the law. Exactly. What's next on the list? Guillotine. Another complicated character. Now, Guillotine is the leader of a unit called Extrinsic. Special enforcement squad who put down irregular Nikke. Their entire existence is shrouded in secrecy and rumors. Extrinsic is an irregular Nikke is a Nikke who's trying to go rogue. They might be corrupted, and their job is to deal with them. Because Nikke are stronger than humans, having them not doing what they're supposed to do is a big threat, big problem. Guillotine has to secretly execute people who would otherwise be her friends and compatriots. And she's got a bit of a chuny side to her. She says that she has a secret dark power because she does. She believes that it is her destiny to lead a solitary life, half obscured with an eye patch. Who knows where she draws her gaze. So yeah, she's doing the whole eye patch thing. But there's a reason for it. Like, normally when anime characters do the whole eye patch thing, they're just like, oh, I have this secret forbidden power that must never be unleashed. Well, Guillotine does have a forbidden power. And she is supposed to unleash it, but only when dealing with these irregular Nikke. She can paralyze them with the look of her eye. She pretends that she's okay with having a lonely life, but secretly she does wish that she had more friends. And when she does make a friend, she treats them very special. And she does her best to keep her job a secret because it's dark. And she's worried that if people know, then they won't want to be friends with her anymore. He's a good beam. Next we have Maiden, also a member of Extrinsic. She's very fashion-centered. She loves to dress very nice. She's also a gamer, surprisingly enough. She's a hardcore gamer. She wears this muzzle because her power is that she can command Nikke's with her voice. She can control them. It makes it really hard for her to have friends as well, because a lot of people feel like, oh, you're probably just going to use your ability to get what you want, you know? Or you're controlling me. I don't know how much of the time that we spend together is free will and how much of it is you just telling me what to do, sort of thing. Mind control through the voice, essentially. She also wishes that she could have more friends, but understands that the nature of her job makes that really difficult. But she's determined to do it because it's important, and if she doesn't do it, somebody else will have to. She goes right alongside Guillotine in rank. How was that pulling on me? Making up stuff. Alright, next we have Winter Slayer Guillotine. Now, this is a version of Guillotine that gets stuck inside of a video game. She is the hero of that story. In an effort to bring back an interesting story to tell a friend, and confirm that she doesn't want to have her mind wiped and quit being the leader of Extrinsic, she goes into this simulated game and goes on an adventure. But she's not familiar with video games, so she's kind of awful at everything. She's kind of ashamed of the power that she has. But again, it's a necessary evil that she comes to terms with. Let's go A rank. In the same way, we have Ice Rose Maiden. Maiden is able to take off the mask and talk normally, which is rare. You get to see her full face. She goes into the game as well to help Guillotine. She is a type of like battle mage in the game. She's much better at games, which is why, of course, she goes in to help. She uses her gaming expertise to help everybody, the party, defeat the dragon, the final boss of the game. She's kind of like the min-maxy type of gamer, though, which causes a lot of friction. A lot of the other members of the squad kind of just want to play and have fun, but she's like, no, we have to be optimal. You need to have this gear, we need to go and grind this amount. But it's still fun. It's fun to see her less serious. Next, we have Ludmilla with the funny hat. Alright, so Ludmilla is a member, or the leader, of Unlimited. This is a squad that defends the northern area, so they spend all of their time up in snowy, inhospitable mountain ranges and stuff. They rescue Nikke who get lost. They're like a rescue team. Ludmilla is awesome. Not only does she keep tabs on who goes into the northern area, into that winter range, she's also able to deal with a lot of quirky individuals. She's really quick to figure out what type of person she's dealing with and adapt in order to help them to the best of her ability. Obviously, she's dressed for the cold. She's willing to be silly in order to help situations that are serious, which is awesome. Ludmilla gets S rank. But then why does Ludmilla need to be silly? Well, that's because the members of her squad are quirky. Next, we have Alice. Alice is brain damaged. I'm sorry. She's crazy. She loves giving people nicknames that are usually centered around Alice in Wonderland. She sees the world through this sort of made-up fantasy. She treats Ludmilla as like a queen. So she understands that like there are different authorities. So whatever Ludmilla says, she does. But she likes chasing after people that she thinks are cute, which is almost everyone. She calls me the Commander Rabbity. Ludmilla is queen. Her favorites are actually the bunny girls who work at the casino. Very whimsical individual, fun to have around. But if you don't make sure that she understands what you're asking or what you're talking about, miscommunications with her are common. And it can be hard to understand what she's talking about too because of her whole, fantasy deal. Alice goes into A. Next, we have Tuve. She's the newest member of Unlimited. She's like a survival expert. Information on, how to survive snowstorms, avalanches, how to find your way in the snow if you're lost. But the problem is that her equipment malfunctions all the time. Nothing she has ever works when you need it. Even though she has all of this information, she's got very little experience because she's new. So just because she knows that she's supposed to start a fire doesn't mean that she's good at actually starting the fire. So you can't rely on much from her other than just the information. Poor execution, but she's a wellspring of knowledge. It's not her fault. I think over time she'll get better at it. Gotta get experience somehow. Oops. Then we have Neve. She's another sleepy character. Subordinate of the Unlimited Squad, she's always searching for polar bears. She loves polar bears. She likes to imitate polar bears, obviously. She's really good at finding people. So if you are lost, usually what they'll do is they'll send Neve out to look for you. Because she can survive a long time in the snow. Because she behaves like a polar bear. She's like the tracking hound of the Squad Unlimited. her B tier. Some issues. Next up is Winter Ludmilla. So, what's the difference between regular Ludmilla and Winter Owner? Well, while Ludmilla is out patrolling in the snow, she discovers a hot spring. And she develops the facility around that hot spring and to sort of turn it into a winter resort. 4.5 hours later, your blender work is done. Nice. Good job. Way to be productive. So, after she establishes this hot spring, Ludmilla is pretty much focused on making sure that everyone who visits the hot spring is having a good time, doesn't get lost, and stuff like that. Winter Ludmilla doesn't have a whole lot going on character-wise, so she's not as in-depth as Base. But it's still cool that she's able to establish like a vacation spot on the surface. Next, we have Alice the Wonderland Bunny. So, the casino in the Ark, the 777, Lucky 7, is holding an event, and in order to get in the spirit and try and win the competition so she can meet the two bunny girls that work there all of the time, she puts on her bunny girl costume. When she's like this, she's able to tell who's having a good time, and that's her whole thing with this. Is not only does she want a chance to meet, you know, the cute bunnies that work at the casino, she also wants everybody else to have a good time and have a lot of fun. And she can tell if you're faking it or if you're having a good time. Alex is a good one. Damn, there are a lot. Let's see. How many more should we do? I think we'll call it here for now on the tier list and pick this up some other time.